Hey, YouTube, Mochismo Eugene here. Haven't made a video in a while. Decided to come back on this morning for about 10 minutes. As you can see, this is erased, scribbled out. I think I mentioned before, there's times and occasions I have guests over, and particularly there's a individual. I guess you can say I'm seeing her. Again, there's some concerns there. So that being the case, I scribbled this out because it's kind of like, as a chosen one, someone who's awakened from narcissistic personality disorder abuse, you kind of, when you learn and you get the knowledge, such as a lot of us here have, you're not very eager or amped to just go out and start talking about it to other people because you recognize that there's a problem in our world, and most often on a daily basis you run into a narcissist, and if you're hyper vigilant like I am on many occasions, most of the time when I go out in public, I turn up my vigilance for a couple of reasons, because I've been drugged through the mud, hoping for a good relationship, wanting to live a wholesome, healthy life to no avail. You get the picture. So you're hyper vigilant and you don't want to talk to people about this because most people don't understand, even if they're not narcissists. They can be the minions that run back and tell them, oh, this guy talking this crazy stuff, and them not even realizing they could be in a narcissistic abusive relationship themselves. So they're going to run and tell somebody else that you're crazy when they're living in craziness. And all of the above and below, there's a lot of scenarios that play out with that. So you kind of want to keep it under wraps. This is one of few communities that you can come and talk about this stuff, and it's a blessing. I got a very good job, a new job. That's not really most of the reason why I haven't been on YouTube. It's just because I've been taking some time just to, just trying to live and disengage from just the whole mindset of being in that matrix of a situation. I was listening to a video this morning, Narc Survivor. I like that guy. I remember when I first woke up in 2019, but got the awareness in January, I believe, somewhere around that in 2020. Just Googled what makes a person not show true remorse, and that connected me to narcissistic personality disorder. And I realized that's who I was living with, and it lit up. It lit up on the page, essentially. And as I said before in past videos, I got the knowledge. I got a couple of practical, fundamental things right out the gate, and I'll share them with you again. I'll keep sharing them because this is how it must happen. Because if it doesn't happen like this, your cognitive dissonance, meaning that's a word, a fancy word to say that you're going to give yourself a whole bunch of reasons. You're going to have a whole bunch of reasons why you shouldn't stay, but you're going to use one pathetic reason to stay. You may say the kids, you may say we got a house together. Bottom line, if you're living with a narcissist, you got to pull the plug. You got to act almost as if it's bed bug infested, or COVID infested. You just have to quarantine yourself and get the hell out of there. But that being said, don't be reckless. If you have the wherewithal to keep hush, and I'm going to tell you how this connects to three things. You must abort mission, you must disengage, and haul ass. But not in a reckless way, because if you don't have the knowledge and you're not connected, that means when you get this knowledge, this is another fundamental thing you need to do. You need to go gray rock. Gray rock is basically where you have the knowledge, but you become numb to everything that they're trying to do to you mentally, emotionally, and short of physical. You just allow them to say what they have to say, talk their crap, play their little crazy making games. They're gonna probably be inquisitive. Why you're not talking to me? Just say I don't feel like talking. Just give them real blanket answers. And three would be and this is what I did. You got to go silent. because it wasn't feasible for me to leave because I brought them to my house along with an autistic kid, mind you, which was a heartbreaking thing to see that that's who he has to go back and be with. But sometimes you just have to, pick your fights with that. Um, you pray for that person from a distance, the kid, and you just let God do what God does. And the third thing is, once you get the knowledge, you go Grey Rock. And the third thing is you prepare in a way where you start taking things of value, whether it be your bank account. You got to shift things around. I didn't have a bank account jointly, so that wasn't a problem. Mind you, she took our social security cards and our birth certificates. That's how demonic these people are. They're methodical. They get sensitive information so they can continue to monitor you. I haven't reached out to try to obtain that. Not from them anyway. You never get it back. But I've been, busy in life, and this is 3 years in the making. And divorce court's one thing I haven't done. It's just with COVID, I've just been trying to catch my breath. Now, the third thing, what I said, you start moving your finances around. You start taking things that are sentimental to you. I mean, in most houses, we may have a ton of things that are sentimental. This is a situation where this is a moment in your life, in time, that you're going to have to really make a crucial decision. What means the most to me, whether it's a family heirloom or whatnot, if it's something that you can physically take undetected without these people knowing or the narcissist knowing. You're basically essentially moving out of the house in silence. And what I did, I had tools. I had a whole bunch of Milwaukee tools, which is how I make a living. And I've mentioned this on a video, and this will work for men, especially with wives who happen to be narcissists. They will definitely try to take what they know that is going to be your livelihood, and they will pawn it off, sell it, give it away. They won't even solicit anyone for money for it. They'll get rid of it. They'd rather see somebody else with it than you, because they're trying to destroy you. So those are the three things. Get the knowledge. And for me, when I got the knowledge and I got engaged because I had been listening to this. I had been living this thing and didn't understand what it was. I was really sincerely trying to, live a life with this person. I just thought they were slow in the head. They were a little bit underloved, or because she was quiet, very quiet. And so this plays into a covert narcissist's advantage, because they don't have to speak a lot. They don't have to give off a lot of energy. And me, I give off a lot of persona. And so if you give off a lot of persona, that's they don't have to really do nothing but nod their head. And then many times she was nodding her head and she'd be down on a phone like this, and I'm thinking that I'm having a conversation with another human being, and there's nobody home. So I got that knowledge, and I got the knowledge of the Grey Rock, and I started really, really listening to what was spoken to me by way of what to do. I think the first three people I heard, or the first person that really connected with me, I don't know if it was the Little Shaman, Dr. Carmen Bryant, or Narc Survivor. It was one of those three, I believe, and that's when I heard Dr. Carmen Bryant talk about BetterHelp. That's another thing. You want to start seeking out therapy as soon as possible. And, being a minority, if that's a word, being a black man in America, I noticed from my life and living that minorities are very hard pressed to get into therapy. We really don't want to admit and accept that we have traumas, because that word sounds like something that doesn't apply to us. And ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't need nothing. We'll say this on the cuff, not realizing that we're jacked up. We tore up from the floor up. And you've heard it in the AA meetings. You've heard it in all of the programs. They say, unless you can admit you have a problem, That's the first step. And so that's key. And I did this, and it was a very good thing, good choice. I did BetterHelp via satellite, and it worked because they helped me understand that there were some concerns that I had that they believed that I was working through, because I was able to talk to her and express to her what I had experienced. And when I was able to talk to her in plain English about in a real tangible way, she was able to say, I understood what I went through, and it didn't attach itself to me that severely. In just layman terms, that's kind of what she told me. But that being said, now that I'm what, not married in 2019 of April 7th to be exact, and I'm bad with dates, but that's probably a date I'll never forget. April 7th, 2019. She was gone around February 2020, just shy of 10 months out of my house, gone. Because that's a story in itself, because I got the knowledge, found out what she was. I lived in the house with her, which is this house, my house, for upwards of maybe 2.5 months. And I'm going to tell you something. I spoke not one word to her. It could have been less than 2.5 months. I'm sure it was probably like a month, maybe a month and a half. All that's a blur, but the main point is it was over a month. I did not utter one word to this girl. And that was amazing, because to resist the temptation to speak to them, it wasn't a temptation, because I realized I was living with a physical demon, a monster, an individual that had the propensity, and she had everything inside of her that reeked of evil. And so she ended up leaving, and this and that. But the point is, because I told her brother, I went behind her back and told her brother, because you don't confront a narcissist to their face. You don't tell them. That could be catastrophic. So I kind of did a, a thing where I kind of premeditated it. I knew if I told him, and the family knows that they're all messed up. They know what the individual is. If they don't know they're narcissists, they know that they're problematic. So what they do, they move them around. They move around. They shift around. They've gone down this road before. So, and they don't lose any sleep over you. And so, Narc Survivor was a big reason why I decided to come on here and just talk about some stuff, because it's titled today. If you guys don't know Narc Survivor, man, it has about 150,000 subscribers in comparison to, say, Mark the Messenger, which is he's a good read. He has about I think at one point 500,000 subscribers. But he fluctuates because he goes hard with the Bible, which I'm on that, and he talks about everything, semen retention, and that's the thing with me where I'm really struggling, everybody, with the with the the pornography and just the flesh. When I say struggling, I'm not putting up that much of a fight. And I mentioned that I'm seeing somebody they live some distance away. And when you wake up to this stuff, you really come to a point where you don't even bother. You rather not even bother. It's kind of like I'm focused on me and where I'm trying to go. Like I said, I got a new job. It's a great job as far as financial stability. I'm looking to probably next year purchase a house, God willing. But again, I need to get myself released from this situation with this individual. Dread going to court, and I know some of you guys are in the boat I'm in. You need to do it ASAP, but you're just you don't even want to stomach this person in the room with you. And mind you, I got surveillance of her allowing men to come into my house while I was working with my children here in the house. That's the boldness that they have. That's the balls that they have. They have no regard for their safety or their life. They walk on the edge, and they could care less. And the person that came in my house, you gotta ask yourself, do they know? And this particular individual, I want to believe, lived next door. So that's how bold they are. And I'm just glad I didn't know what I knew when she was living here, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here making videos. There'd probably be a video on me. So that is, that's a big deal there. A lot of you guys got stories probably worse than the one I just gave you. But I'm going to tell you, if you got out without harming anyone, count it as a blessing. Don't be angry. Don't be mad. Don't be bitter. Narc Survivor, the title of his video this morning was say it right, basically self-awareness in the narcissist fate world. Just self-awareness, keeping your self-awareness, because the narcissist fate world, it's the world at large. I want to talk about that shooting of Takeoff, but I won't go there. I just know strong drink and wine is a marker of men, not to mention all the other illicit drugs that we somehow indulge in, pills and whatnot. You can't make conscious decisions when you tanked up on this stuff, man. And so, whatever reason for the tragedy that people may say, it boils down to, if your mind is not right, you won't make good decisions. That's any of us, and not for nothing, the narcissist can often have you in a state of euphoria, or you feel like you're drugged. And they basically teach you how to be angry, teach you how to be pathetic and disrespectful and hostile. When in essence, the stresses of life can do that all by themselves. When you live through life, you go through things without that, the substance abuse. Just living in this world can stress you and make you become a person that you don't recognize. But you compound that with running into all types of narcissists, be it at your job, be it in your household, be it in a grocery store where a cashier wants to argue with you about something that you have no clue about. You could ask them, do you know where the milk at? And they'll say something like, I just do register. Why are you asking me? Instead of saying, no, sir, I don't know where it is, but I can get someone to help you if you like. That's customer service. But narcissists don't even think they're there to serve anybody. They'll do less. And they actually come off like you're there for them. That was just an example. But that does happen. That happens. And that's when you see somebody arguing that works in a store with a customer, most often, that is an ego that is probably underlined with a strong amount of narcissistic disorder there. So bounce around a little bit, but I guess my premise for coming here is just to say hi and what I've been up to. Nothing major. And again, this is where the life we live. I erased this because and they kind of want to know what my I mentioned it to them, because I kind of I'm kind of throwing some hints out there that I think that there may be some things going on, and I teetered on the idea that they could be borderline personality disorder, short of saying what I most often believe most of these women that I run into are. I stop short of that because you don't want to divulge that wholeheartedly to them. So there's been a slight disengage. There's been a slight pullback from them. And I'm going to share something with you guys before I go. You don't want to really continue with a person, even if they are borderline personality disorder. I mean, are you gonna pick a perfect person in the world? Are you gonna pick a person that's sound mind in the world? You know, who's that? What's that look like? But I'm going to tell you two things specifically that I would not encourage anyone to stay in a relationship with: a narcissistic personality disorder person or a person with borderline personality disorder. So those things are almost neck and neck. Schizophrenia, I've never dated anyone like that. I'm not saying go look for somebody like that, but these are struggles that some people have. Bipolar disorder, in my opinion, all of these mental health issues, I believe, intertwine with a strong amount of narcissism. And it's almost like you can trail back some of these mental health issues with most people that have them, and I guarantee you, because I don't believe I haven't been diagnosed with any of that, and I've gone through traumas. I think it all hinges on a trauma that happened in our life, and most often that trauma could have been perpetuated by someone with a strong narcissistic personality disorder. Because back in the day, people beat the hell out of their kids. They raised them with such uh, force and emphasis, verbal emphasis, that you would think you can't love a child, treat them like that. But we dumbed it down to saying, you know, that's just the times. So all of that being said, man, you know, you take what you will from this video, but just really wanted to say hello and let you guys know that I miss doing the videos. I don't really have any context to what I'm talking about. I just like to talk about some stuff that I think is pertinent in my life and hope that you guys can relate to it. So until I come back on the next video um, with a topic of some substantial importance, I'll see you guys. Bless.